Hello, it's Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler. I'm in Lomé, Togo, West Africa, in the Nikompwe, I hope I pronounced that right, neighborhood. Standing in front of a Catholic church, and I think it's Palm Sunday. And I was just asked a very, very good question, and I'll be happy to answer it. I think it's Palm Sunday, I'm not sure. But I'm in Lomé, Togo, West Africa. It's April 2014. This is the Ask Andy show, and I've been to 90 plus countries and traveled for 16 plus years non-stop. And send me your questions. I have an opinion on everything. Okay, Christopher W. from Wisconsin. A very special person. He taught English overseas for 7 plus years. That tells me a lot about him, and maybe even the reference to where the question's coming from. But Christopher asked, have you improved over the last 16 years of travel, of world travel, outside U.S. and all around the world, all right? He doesn't mean financially, he doesn't mean physically. After 16 years, the physical part's a little humorous part, right? But he means psychologically and, dare I say, morally. Okay, I think this is quite humorous. I suspect I instantly thought of this girl Sophie. I met her in Turkey, and right before I went into Iraq, and you know, we had this fling, you know, really, you know, she was a cancer nurse. So she worked as a cancer nurse in a hospital in France, in Paris. And so as I'm going through Iraq, she keeps calling me and says, she calls me in Iraq. She's the only person that actually called me in Iraq. Called me 3 or 4 times at different hotels. I would post it on my blog, and she'd read it and then call it. I mean, she kept calling because she kept saying, come to Paris to make babies. And I thought she was just making a funny joke in, you know, French. And I'm not, you know, I'm American, so French can fly over me sometimes, right? And I thought she was just saying, let's come have, you know, boom boom, let's, you know, make love or whatever. But what she was really serious. She knew, she had been a traveler for like 4 or 5 years. And she wanted me to come to things. So I fly into, you know, I get out of Iraq, I get to, where did I get to? I left into Turkey, I flew from Istanbul to Paris. I go to her thing, and she goes, let's make a baby. And I thought, hey, you know, this is a serious thing. I don't just make babies. I thought she was joking, and she was serious. She wanted me a baby because she thought, as a world traveler, that I was handsome, smart, whatever. I could make a baby, and I wouldn't care at all to just desert the baby and run around the world, because that's what travelers do. And I go, what? She said, you know, you've been traveling for what, 8 years or 7 years at the time? She implied that what I was going to do was just make a baby and walk away and never see her again, and she could be the, you know, the mother, and there would be no things. But I refused, okay? Oh, then she threw a fit. I ended up sleeping on the floor, leaving in the morning, went and walked around the Eiffel Tower with a full backpack, and I had no place to go. I'm in one of the most expensive countries on the planet, right? With no place to live cheap. Stayed in the worst hotel, 27 euros a night. Oh, this thing was a horrible place. Luckily, I got on a train and went to Barcelona quick. But this is sort of an unwritten methodology or thinking ways. Once you become free, travelers half the time, I mean, they can be, I tell people, the most dangerous person you can ever meet is a person that's been traveling for 3 years, continuously. Because what happens is they have no, they know that all they got to do is get on the bus and they never see you again. So they're more than willing to, see, without the social pressure of being held accountable for your actions, if they steal everything, no, they can blackball anything. So you can blackball, and, you know, what people blackball, I don't, that's not the right word, black hole. People do things abroad. I always make the joke that after 150 miles, away from home, most men have affairs. But they have to be far enough where they can black hole it, and nobody will ever find out. Well, I'm, I don't know how many miles away, 10,000 miles away. I can black hole anything. I can have it erased out of my life, and you'll never know I did it. And so these people become very, very dangerous. So I've been fortunate that I've actually went the other way. I was always trying to be a good person because my mom and dad are very good people, and they always taught me to do the right thing. And I almost really took this moral thing too far. Plus, I go to all these self-help groups, and I'm recovering alcoholic and whatever, and it's called rigorous honesty, and I can't really go into this, but basically I live my life by rigorous honesty. So I some ways went too far, and I kept trying to get better, but then there's the guilt of not doing a good job. So in America it was always a problem because you need so much money. So what happens is you compromise your principles a little bit for money, okay? And what I've been able to do over the last 16 years is get rid of every single way that a person can put me between a rock and a hard place where they can force me to even agree with them, okay? So I don't ever have dishonesty, dishonesty by omission. I'm not a perfect person, that's not all I'm saying. It's not saying that I'm all honest all the time, but I'm saying I'm wonderful. I'm 100% better than what I was when I left. But it's mainly because there's no way to force me into a situation where I'm going to care so much about you that I would just tell you a lie to make you happy. It doesn't mean I don't sometimes keep my mouth shut. I keep my mouth shut 10 times more than I used to. And my mother was really saying I had a potty mouth. But Mom, saying shit is not a sin. Bring it on. But I'm not going to go into all that stuff. But the bottom line is, why do we lie? Why do we steal? Why do we cheat? Why do we do all these things? It's because temptation's there, and we want it. We're greedy, or we need it. I don't need it, and I'm not greedy in the least. But there's times in my life where I was, I was walking down the road, over 27 years ago in Midland, Michigan. I looked at the side of the road and said, "No, never again. I'm never going to drink again." I made a commitment on that day. Okay, I made a commitment on that day to fall in love with myself, to be the best person I could possibly be, and the hero of my own life. And I went out and did it. So yes, what traveling has allowed me to do is to get away from all temptation and buy my own space, my own time, my separation from everybody, whether it's your friends, your neighbors, or any kind of, I don't know, you want to call it, people that have high influence over you, can force you to agree with them. And this is how you always compromise the truth. You basically you compromise to try to get somebody to sort of agree with you. And that is what, buying 1 year without being around your friends, you can have 1 year of getting used to not compromising, not bending the rules, not going along, not sitting there saying you agree when you don't. And yes, I'm a much better person. Andy Graham, Hobo Traveler, thank you for the question.
Tonight, let's flip